Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All-Star Panel. Hope you guys are having a great Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday, whatever way you want to call it. Hope you're celebrating. Thank you for tuning in with us as we talk about Married at First Sight. Season 14, Episode 14 is just a blip. All-Star Panel. We have with us today August Love Story. How y'all guys doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Wonderful.
Good.
Can't complain at all. Man, it's just a blip. I want to get started with this couple at Married at First Sight. It's always the same thing with them. Let's go to Noi and Steve. I want to start with Noi and Steve. We know Noi, and I'm going to ask you guys this question. How childish was Noi about the whole social media situation? That is childish.
You're being very childish about that. And I just don't understand how she can't see that. What?
Yeah.
What you looking at me
I
for?
thought I didn't know if you was done in that.
Oh.
Is that one of those pauses?
No, go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt you.
Michael.
Right.
I know I'm about to say that.
I think it was super childish. I think it was more childish that when he made the point, she didn't give him props for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? She just kind of like sat there and like didn't say anything and just was like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, this is so stupid to me.
That was her embarrassment showing that she didn't want to talk about it.
And see, that's what tells me that she's childish too, because she's a grown woman still getting embarrassed by things that she do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just got to stand in what you do. At that point, she 33?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's like, I don't understand the need to have social media. Like, if that's the requirement, right? If I'm in it to be married to this person and the person is saying he's not saying not to post on social media. He's saying don't post about us subliminally.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, talk to him about stuff you don't feel bad. You feel aware about. Don't put it online and then everybody else is asking him stuff and it's the first time that he's seeing it. Happy Easter to everybody.
That was like the trend though for him this episode, because remember they opened up packing the bags and she had posted something about sushi and he was like, you wouldn't want people to think sushi died, did you?
Right.
And it's like that's what they think because that's how you're posting things. Like,
Right.
and you're like, oh my God, why would they think sushi died? The same reason they think you're having issues with your husband because you're posting dumb stuff. Just stop.
Right. Some cryptic messages shouldn't be cryptic, right?
Yeah.
Why? Like, my question is, why are you writing cryptic messages? Like, if you're trying to be inspirational, right? I think I said this on our journey. She's trying to like be inspirational or encourage people to walk in their truth, I guess. I don't know. The stuff that she says seems to be so seems to say that your life is going so bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, and it's not. And that's the thing, man. Yeah, so to answer your question, yes. Noi is childish as all get out. And she needs to grow up. I think I said this too. I don't think she's prepared for marriage. And I think Steve was perfect for Married at First Sight because he's so free and open to new ideas. Whereas she's so, rigid on the idea that she has. And I have to have my social media and I have to do this and I have to do that. And the way that I've explained marriage to people is I'm an extension of my wife. My wife is an extension of me. So if I'm embarrassing or saying negative things on the internet, that's a reflects back on her, and vice versa. So it's like you have to think of your spouse as the other, as is this appropriate for my spouse as well? You know what I'm saying? Am I giving out the right message? And I guess that's what it is. Her messaging is messed up.
Like the family that you create, I can't even just say marriage because it goes into having kids.
Right.
The family that you create is the biggest compromise you'll ever make in your life. Like, there are so many times that it's just like me and Tommy look at each other when Lily wants to play, and we're both like, I just want to go to sleep. Like, I just need a nap. And we still have to sit up and play with pretend food in the fake kitchen and in the food truck, but that's just what we have to do. And it's so many times that we've been invited out to things and one of us just doesn't want to go, but we just say, okay, gotta do it. It's just a big compromise, and she hasn't compromised on anything yet. She's not compromising on 3 kids. She's not compromising on the social media stuff. She's not compromising on the dog in the bed, because when we've seen her get mad at Steve because he was still in the bed asleep, the dog was sleeping beside him.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And, it's like everything that has been brought up that he's like, I don't really like, he's had to get over it and compromise, and she's just like, that's just how it is. That's just how I am.
And that's not fair.
And it doesn't go
No,
well.
it's not.
It's not fair. Definitely not fair. It doesn't go well, because if you're always compromising in a relationship, if you're the one always compromising, you get tired after a period.
Mm-hmm.
You get tired after a while. And then that's when resentment start coming in. That's when hate start coming in. Every time they say something, it could be something simple. You're already mad. You're already on 10, right? Because here she go again. And you know other people be seeing it, because when they was talking in the kitchen, Olajuwon was like, oh, you mean the subliminal messages? Which in this episode, Olajuwon seemed to be nosy. He's in everybody's relationship. If y'all haven't noticed, he knows them rooftop conversations must be real good, because he's involved in everybody. He knows everything about everybody's relationship. But again, those subliminal messages are going throughout the group that you guys are in, and they're looking at Steve like, yo, man, what's going on with you and Noi? You're like, what you talking about? Right? He doesn't know. And his family members are calling him like, what's going on? Because she done friended the family members. And then she can't even answer the question right. She's like, it might be for you. It might not be for you. We all know it's for Steve. And then you don't even want him to bring you don't want him to bring up the conversation in front of the group. I understand it's not a group discussion, but it's something that you can help each other out with. Maybe they can see she doesn't want the girls to see that she's wrong, because they would have told her she's wrong. The other girls would have said, you know what, no, you wrong for that. And she don't want nobody to tell her that she's wrong. That's why she really didn't want to bring it up in that situation in front of everybody, because she didn't want people to say you're wrong.
I was going to say along the lines of what you were saying, Tommy. Okay, so if you want to be inspirational, if you want to give somebody advice, then she got to use it's a church phrase, but they say it for other stuff too. It's like, I don't know who this is for, but if you think you deserve, you know what I'm saying? That way it makes it look, you might be talking about Steve, but 9 times out of 10, the people reading it are not going to assume you're talking about Steve. So you have to preface it. You know what I'm saying? If you're not being cryptic in your message, which again, I'm sure she was. She's real childish. You can't address it up front. And I don't want to bleed into the other couple, but I saw with Noi and Steve, also with Lindsey and Mark, there are some things that you have to compromise, like we talked about, compromise and understand that you're not in a competition with your spouse. I talk about that more with Mark and Lindsey, because sometimes you might have to be the bigger person and your spouse won't be the bigger person. Somebody has to take that role. So same thing with Noi and Steve. Okay, we understand you like your social media, but like you said, the two are one, and we're an extension of each other. And in my relationship, I don't want to hurt my spouse. So if I see it's bothering my spouse, as much as I like to post on social media, I might have to change that. And you have to know that coming into a marriage. And that's why Noi is not mature enough to be in a for real marriage, because you're gonna have to, and it's not even an L. It ends up being a win-win, but sometimes to you might have to take the L for your spouse's sake to benefit your whole marriage.
Right.
Take the L.
Right.
And that's the thing. So even when it came to the apartment at the end, where she was like, still talking about moving out, not giving up her apartment, right? Not giving up her studio, and moving in with him, or moving, whatever case may be. And I'm sitting here listening to her. It's like, you still want the single life, but you want to be married. You want your cake and eat it too. Why don't you even come on this show if you're not willing to commit to the marriage? When I hear you talk about, if you're not willing to commit, what did you think? Did you think, okay, we're going to be married and he's going to move back to my 1-bedroom studio, or we're going to be married and we're going to live two different places? What you're telling him is, I want the marriage, but I don't want everything that comes with the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want the togetherness. I want the us to put blending things together. I don't want the unity. I just want what I want. And I understand it is your apartment, your studio, but if you're upgrading or you're moving up, why are you holding on to something that is, it's not new to you, right? You knew coming into this thing that is the possibility may be that I'm going to love this guy and we're going to be in love with each other, and I'm going to have to move because he's not going to move to my one-room studio, especially if Steve got a house. You know, why are you here? You know, and Steve has been nothing but respectful to her the whole time. I mean, he's been respectful. He hasn't raised his voice. He hasn't cursed her out. He ain't do none of that stuff where he could have really been upset. He even at the table, I would I think before he even talked about it, like, do you mind if we talk about this with the group? He asked her. So he's been respectful, and she can't even be respectful to him by not posting stuff on social media, or be respectful to him to say, you know what, I'm going to say yes on the decision day. You're going to say yes on the decision day. Let's move it together on our own. Like, who does that? It's not going to work out.
No, I don't think she, like everybody has said, I don't think she was ready for marriage, because it's so much growing up she still has to do. Because even in the conversation that you brought up when they was in the car, she was talking about how she had never like lived by herself before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this her first time living by herself, and she don't want to give that up, and she's thinking about how her social media posts are like it's no big deal and stuff like that. You have such a selfish mindset when it comes to thinking about marriage, and that's unfair to the other person. In this case, it's unfair to Steve, and I give it to Steve for even just asking, hey, can I bring this up? Because if it was me, I'm like, yo, we're dealing with this social media stuff, you know, and she won't back down off of it.
Right.
You know, I would have just brought it up, because at this point, Steve's point of you put this stuff out on social media, but I can't talk about it amongst friends. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm more like with us, and all the time that we have worked together and stuff like that, we talk about things.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like once we get off the live, we'll sit down, we'll talk about things rather than talking about it on the live.
Right.
Same instance. It's like how is it? You know, like what sense does that make? You know what I'm saying? With her. So it doesn't make sense. And it's like I was like, man, did you even think about this? You know, like
she really did. She really didn't. And I want to add too. So I think when it came to the apartment conversation in her studio, I'll add this too. So there's some immaturity there, and she still has hurt she needs to get over. She's got all these drawbacks. So she, you know, she's still thinking she wants stability and security, you know, coming from them being refugees. And then I moved here for a relationship, and he left me and basically left me high and dry. She's got all this baggage that she's coming in with. And again, she's not willing to turn it loose.
Right.
I understand her. I understand where she's coming from. But again, if you're coming into Married at First Sight, like Glenn said, you had to know we're going to live together. If we decide to say yes, that's what's going to happen. So I know I got this inside of me like, oof, what if he leaves me? What if it don't work out? I got to have my studio, and keep your studio. That's fine. Keep your studio. But don't be all negative Nancy up for like you're automatically thinking it might not work out. Let me just go to my place after, because I don't know if I want to live with him. Like, you don't even really fully want to commit. Like, what are you here for?
But it's confusing. She's sending mixed signals. You're living with this dude for 8 weeks, and you don't have a problem with living with him now. So why, when this process or this experiment is over, you're gonna have a problem with living with him then? To me, in my mind, think, okay, do you really love me? Do you really care about me? Is it about the checks? What is it about? Why is it okay for you to live with me now and not when the cameras go away? I haven't.
She's not giving up anything.
So she's not paying for now. That's all it is.
Right.
She's not truly sacrificing anything. And then another thing I want to throw in there, just see what y'all catch it or what y'all thoughts are. Noi wants to be a stay-at-home mom.
I was coming there. Yes. That's why she hating on dude so much. That's why
Right.
she hating on him. She's looking at it like this. We both can't stay at home.
Right. Somebody has to work. And strategically, he probably is the better person as far as like skill-wise to go to work. But for him, he's like, I want to do my creative thing. I want to, freelance and do all this stuff. So you can't make me because I've lived that lifestyle. That's not the way I want to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Noi's jealousy and her dreams of being a stay-at-home mom. It's like he's throwing a wrench in that. And then on top of everything else, he's taking a risk with her. I think I said this in the thing. Am I talking too much? Okay. in our review is that for Steve, he's taking a risk because he don't know if she can clean up.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I go back to work and she can't clean, I still have to come home and clean and do all this other stuff. She failed when she let his noodles boil over. Like nothing about her.
Got mad at him.
And got mad at him and left. Nothing about what Noi has said has shown Steve that he can trust her with him going back to work and her staying at home.
Because not even with a baby.
Huh?
And not especially with a baby too.
Right.
They get the baby within a year. Man,
right.
She lose her mind.
The house he gonna come home, get off of work. He gotta cook, gotta clean up. Like that's taking so much time, and it takes so much time away from being spent with family. You know what I'm saying? Because now you come home, you've been at work all day, you're tired, and you don't want to do these things around the house that somebody who's been at the house all day could have done. And I just don't think Noi has put the right energy into this process now that it's 2 weeks later. And like I said, I think Steve was perfect for this process, but Noi is just not, she spent too much time worrying about the fact that he's not working versus getting to actually know this guy and falling in love for who he is and not what he does.
He did. If you notice at the beginning, he did calm her nerves down after they talked about the budget thing. Because when it was riding, she's like, "Okay, this is no longer an issue." Because he showed her some things, or they got this situated and this straight. But it's still just her not trusting him. She doesn't trust him, and that's the problem. When you're in a relationship, when you're married, you gotta be able to trust your spouse or your mate. If she doesn't trust him to meet her needs or to make her feel safe. And that's a big issue. That's a big place. That's a bad place to be when the person you with, you don't feel safe or trust them to have your best interest at hand.
But and granted, this is a process. It's an 8-week thing. They didn't know each other coming into this, but everything is at a fast pace. So you're gonna have to do those things to help you build trust quickly. And from what we can see of all the spouses, from what we can see of Steve, he hasn't given us any reason to question that he can be trusted.
Right.
He's been so genuine and so upfront and so mature. He can talk about things, present, like we found out with the finance conversation. He's been trying to have it. She's been avoiding it. He's been upfront. He's trying to do that. And, because the same thing with Michael, he was like, you got to come into this knowing I'm gonna be open, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna, you got to dive in head first. I ain't got time to distrust somebody. You trust somebody until they give you a reason not to in this process.
She trusts Steve with certain things. She just doesn't trust him with being able to, I don't even say will provide, because she stopped talking about that whole her being the breadwinner after he didn't talk about I paid 3 times as much as she does, right? He killed that noise. Like I paid 3 times as much as she does. I mean, her thing is like, again, I think the biggest thing is she can't live her dream because Steve, Tommy, you said it, Steve throws a monkey wrench in her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
He throws a monkey wrench in her dreams, and she's like, hold on for a minute. How can you do this? I got to find something. I love you, but I got to find something. In the social media thing and the job thing is the thing that I want to find and I want to pick on. Everything else is cool, but I'm going to find something.
Mm-hmm.
to deal with. So,
That's crazy.
you crazy. You touched on this couple, and I want to go here with this couple, Michael and Jasmina. Again, another week, but Michael and Jasmina is doing pretty well. Does Jasmina? They went to a medium. Does Jasmina make the medium about her, or was the whole medium about Michael? Because we argued about that a little bit, because I kept saying the medium never mentioned Jasmina being with him. She never said that you two will be together. I always thought the medium was just talking about Michael and nothing to do with Jasmina. Y'all thoughts?
Jasmina said on the after party that the medium did dive into her life, but we didn't see any of it. So it looks like it was all just about Michael, his brother, and a little bit of his daddy sprinkled in, and y'all gonna work out. I don't really know if anything really was said about Jasmina. I wish it would have been shown. If it was actually said about her, she said it was. I mean, I know they cut out a lot of stuff, but I also think that they hold on to too much stuff that we don't care about. Like, especially when they come back from the commercial break and play the last minute and a half from what happened before the commercial break. Like, cut some of that out and let us see some new footage. It just doesn't make sense for me with that. I hope that it was something said about her that made him feel better, because I feel like he's always the focus of, he needs to be vulnerable. And I'm like, you got a lot of issues too that we don't have to even like dig deep to figure out. Like, they need to be brought up and put out on the surface too.
Yeah. That whole medium, first off, I didn't know what a medium was, but then Artiga explained it to me. And then secondly, the medium part was focused on Michael. I don't think a lot of times when they talk about them two, Michael ever voices any concern that he has from her. He's just like, well, I don't know if she wants to do this or if she wants to do that. But it's like, I feel like these folks forget that they're a part of it too. They married a stranger too. You know, like, I feel like a lot of them have, like, you know, especially Michael. Michael is the quiet voice in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And Jasmina, like, it's almost like Michael has to prove to Jasmina that he's worthy to be her husband, versus her proving to him that she's worthy of being his wife. Like, it's like, it's almost like she got I got a pretty face, so, you know, that's all you need type of deal. And that's unfair for him to accept. Like, I hope behind the scenes they're doing something extra, you know, like that he's really diving deep into, you know, her past or whatnot. But this whole time it seems like she's saying, what did she say? He's not opening up to her, but we haven't saw, as a consumer, we haven't saw her open up about anything. Nope. We know about her past, like we know that her mom went out and her dad went out and stuff like that, but we haven't saw that be addressed between them two, which it would make it better, I think, for us to see it as well, you know, as consumers.
I think another big thing that was key, what drew my attention, was everybody thought Jasmina would be the biggest liar. What gave them the perception that you'd be the best liar, unless you lying, right? Unless they see that they're looking beyond what they see every day behind you, and they understand that, you know what, you're hiding a lot of stuff. You're not sharing the whole story, because the whole group were like, oh, who be the best liar? Jasmina. And Michael even looked like, dang, you been lying the whole time? He looked at it like, have you been lying to me the whole time? Like, I'm pouring my heart out. I'm being vulnerable. I'm doing everything. Are you just playing a game with my heart?
Based on piggybacks off of everything that they say at the after parties, I would have thought it was Olajuwon.
Right.
But when they all said Jasmine, I was like, something happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. They know something we don't know. And I think she's lying the whole time. I think she's there for the checks. I don't think she like dude. I really don't. I really don't think she like dude. I think she can tolerate him. She's friends with him, but I don't think she likes dude. Another thing that would set me off was if we taking this trip to Vermont and you want to go sleep and you can't drive, you might need to stay up.
Yeah, she definitely could not be married to Glenn because we gonna split this drive for sure. You're not gonna sit over there and sleep.
I have gotten in trouble for falling asleep on the car ride. We went to Cincinnati. I don't know why. It was like as soon as we crossed out of the state of Georgia, my eyes just got heavy.
Listen, I'm gonna make this confession, and we can get back to the podcast, but I'm gonna make this confession. For real, when we drove to Florida this past weekend, I promise you, I missed Georgia, the whole state.
That's a big state now.
State of Georgia. but I started driving. Okay, I drove to South Carolina. We switched. I did not see not a bit of Georgia, but anyway.
I have no problem with you. If we're splitting the drive, I have no problem with you going to sleep. But if I'm driving by myself the whole way, you need to get up and talk because we might both be sleeping. I don't have a Tesla yet, so I can't put that bad boy on auto drive. We can't do that.
But I wanted to say about the Medium. I knew about a Medium because I can't remember what I used to watch on whatever channel. They had that Long Island Medium, so I kind of was familiar with Medium. But I was just like, with that whole thing, I told my husband, he was like, the Medium never said that they would be together. And I said, I think because that was like the assumption, because I'm talking to the two of y'all, that I'm saying this in regard to the two of y'all. So I said, that's probably why she didn't say you and him, per se. But, and then Jasmina's comments, where she was like, ooh, we going to be rich. We going to have a boat. Ooh, we going to California. Ooh. That's why I was like, she knew that it was directed to them. But I was like, it did still come across like, it was focused on more so everything dealing with Michael, what happened with your family, what's your background, blah blah. And like people have said in the chat, and we've said this the whole time, I feel like again we know more about Michael from Michael's mouth with their interactions than we do about Jasmina. Everything we know about Jasmina came from the opening when she introduced herself and we saw her mom and her stepdad. After that, we haven't seen her sharing herself. So I'm confused. Maybe they're just not sharing it, but I'm confused when she say, I want to get deeper. I need to know my husband more. And I'm like, what that? Is she saying that she wants him to cry every day about his past? And what are you saying? What else do you need to know about the man?
I'm like, do you need to know what he ate every day for lunch in 3rd grade? I don't see it. It just does not make sense. He is literally like, hey, I had a lot of death in my past. I'm still trying to work through some of that. But overall, I don't harp on it. But I think that she absolutely, from what I have seen, needs to figure out her issues and why she's so, well, we kind of know, but why she's so triggered with men saying things to her. And we know that her daddy left her. So what was the relationship like with her stepmom and having men around? Was it like, okay, don't talk to Jasmina because she gonna get mad? Because that's basically what her stepdad said at the wedding. He was like, just let it go. Let it go. She liked to argue. So It's like we see that that's her personality and nobody can understand that and he can't say anything about it. It's always he needs to fix something. He needs to do something. He said this. He did this. And it's like, not really all him. It's a lot of you.
Yeah. The one thing I did like about them that I got a little bit of hope when they did the games and they had the matching shirts. I'm the boss and I'm the real boss and then better half shirts. I was like, oh, that's cute. They got the matching shirts. So I feel like I think she likes him. because my husband still sometimes questions, does she like him? I think she likes him, just not to the level that she probably should at this point. Which obviously, you know, she talks about not having the feelings, and she doesn't kind of like what Ryan said last season. She's not getting the butterflies or whatever. But I thought that was a note to us that they had the matching shirts when they did the game. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, but you and your friend have matching shirts when you're growing up too. Don't mean you love them. You know what? You dress like your boy. We go to the music department. Let's put on all black. You know, let's rock whatever case for me. I think she tolerates him, but I really don't think she loves him. I mean, and I don't want to say love,
sure not.
And I know love is a deep word. I don't think she really, when she talk about butterflies and being attracted to him, that when she said butterflies, I'm thinking about attraction.
Feelings, you mean?
Feelings, yeah. I'm thinking about attraction. You have to be somewhere with this guy. You feel it. So, shoot, we all been there. How many of you sitting in class with somebody for like 4 or 5 weeks, 8 weeks, and next thing you know, you liking a person that you sat next to in class.
Looked in the back of their head off.
You sitting back, y'all sitting in class talking, and you like, okay, this is real good. You gotta have some type of feelings if y'all have these kind of conversations and discussions, and there has to be something that's there for you to say, oh, we can be rich and live in California. Well, how can you be rich and live in California with a person that you don't like?
Right.
So which one is it? You know what I'm saying? So she's playing a game. To me, she's playing a game, and I've said it again. I don't think Jasmina like black guys. I don't think she's really been in a relationship with black guys. I think she's been in a relationship with people who are different. And I'm not saying that makes it end all to be all. What I'm just saying is she's not comfortable around men. Her relationships have been distant relationships. She hasn't been around somebody for a long period of time. Jasmina has an issue with being in close, and then she don't trust men. She don't trust men, and so she has an issue. You know, I think that's one of the biggest issues. She doesn't trust well. And poor Michael's doing everything he can to make the dude to change his speech pattern, the way he talk, his work schedule. He drives everywhere. I mean, what else let's be honest. What else can he do to make her feel him? And that's the question you got to ask. What else can I do to make you have some type of feeling for me? Because I've done everything. He's been on the same team with her. They won. He even squashed some arguments. What else can he do?
Yeah.
I mean, y'all in the chat, let me know. What else can Michael do to make this girl like him or have some butterflies? Because I don't think there's nothing else dude can do.
Nah, he gonna do everything he can do. Jasmine just need to. She gave what a.
You missed the matching shirts.
Yeah.
And Jasmina just don't like him.
Oh. She gave him I'm sorry, guys. There's something going on. But she gave him the most non-answer she could ever give a person when he asked on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you put us? And she said a 5. That's with 1 being an absolute no and 10 being yeah. She said 5. That's
and Chris.
Right. 5 puts you at 0, man. Like, come on, man.
Oh my God, I don't immediately wash my hand after I touch you.
Right.
Right. So it's like, she gave that answer, and it gives him absolutely nothing to go off of. And I feel like that's what Michael is trying to go off of. It's how she feels. You know what I'm saying? How, is she going to say, if she says yes on decision day, I'm going to say yes. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that he's trying. That's what it seems like he's trying to do. And she didn't give him anything. And then the things that she give him is not a clear, okay, you do X, Y, and Z, and this is what I'm going to say. But she's just giving him these theories, basically. Mm-hmm. Hey, it could be yes, it could be no if you do X, Y, and Z. Like, how much opening up do you want him to do? How much? Like, it's something I would walk away from feeling like I put my all into it, but I would say no. I hope that they say yes, but
there's no way that I don't want to say 2 weeks out from decision day, but there's no way that we can go into decision day unsure of what the other person is going to say. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine you living with someone, spending all this time with someone, and then still being unsure of what you're going to say. And then to give me a 5, that puts me even more like, look, I don't know at all. Like,
Right.
I don't know what I can do because you're not giving me anything.
Right. I'm giving you a 10. I'm giving you all of me, right?
Right.
And you giving me none of you. What caught me, Tommy, in that scene, she's like, well, if the needle just goes up a little bit, so my man just need to get to it. Because he asked her, do we need to have a 10 for you to say yes on decision day?
Chemistry wise.
Yeah, chemistry wise. She's like, it just has to go up a little bit. So to me, so if it goes to a 6, we good? Because a 6 is closer to 10. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what is a 6?
And what is a 6? Right.
That's what he was asking her. Like Tommy said, she gave the most non-answer answer ever. He was like, what is it that we can do to build the chemistry? What is it that we can do to progress to the yes? And she was like, I mean, if we get midway, what the heck is midway? What is it?
The only thing Bruh can do that he has not done is put it out in the bedroom.
Man, sometimes you just gotta whip it out, man. Say here.
He gonna have to come in there. He gonna have to come. No, for real though. I ain't gonna go as far as Tommy, but you have to come in there and like literally sweep her off her feet. He did it a little bit with the month anniversary, setting up everything.
Yeah.
He gonna have to do some more of that. He gonna have to come in there and be like, you know, Tarzan and Jane her, just pick her up and be like, I'm taking you to the bed. Now, I don't even know if you gotta go that far, but you know what I'm saying? Just embrace her and like he's gonna have to do that. And maybe she's like, oh my gosh, Michael, or something.
Right. It has to be something, right? It's so, man, there's nothing else he can do, and she has to open up. And again, I think she's just going through the motions, so she's not classified as a Alyssa, but she's not really loving him.
I feel like she's at a point to where it's not love, but it's a liking. Like she likes it, you know what I'm saying? And it's from this is my pool of people, and he showed the most interest type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now a sense of not. I don't like to use the word aggressive because it's such a negative tone when you have talking about men and women in the pursuit of a woman. But he has to be more aggressive in his pursuit now because it's like, okay, we saw them holding hands and stuff like that, but now, hey, kiss her, you know, nibble on her neck a little bit, mess with her a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Those steps need to be made in order to, and I ain't even saying you have to have sex with her, but like have some type of intimacy with her on a bigger scale, you know what I'm saying? So.
And when they built the chemistry, I think with the teamwork in the game, even though we know production put that together, it made them forcefully work together. And I think they were having fun with it. So, yeah. But she's not very athletic. Her and Katina are not very athletic at all.
Oh man, she just held that ball in dodgeball.
I saw that too, Tommy. I was like, is she just holding the ball? Do something, throw it.
Nobody hit her. What's the question? It's like she'd have been a prime target.
Right.
Running out.
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna stand right here.
No, they should have took her legs from up under her like Steve took Katina.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They hit that ground
hard.
I mean.
Wow. She just her whole little body.
I bet you the game stopped and they was like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. You know, I agree, Kalita. Jasmina do need somebody to take the lead, and Michael's not that. I don't want to say aggressive or forcefully. Just take the lead. Like this is what we're doing.
It's weird to say it, right?
Yeah, like this is what we're doing, and not give her an option.
But
basically.
He's scared to take the lead. He's scared to take the lead because he don't want her to say, "Oh, you being aggressive. Watch your tone. Don't touch me like that. Don't do." He's scared.
But it's taking the lead a certain way because when you go back to the month anniversary, he took the lead, right? And look what he did by taking the lead, and she was impressed with it. He took the lead at the tantric yoga situation, and she enjoyed that. So he just has to in environments by himself. Let me put it that way. Environments without camera and production. He needs to learn how to take the lead.
Yo, the month anniversary was definitely GTD behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I got you, Tommy. I feel you.
Okay.
I caught it. I just caught it.
Yeah. I was like, right on, brother.
Oh man, let's move on. Since we were talking about Katina and Olajuwon, Katina folding up when she got hit with the ball. I'm surprised Olajuwon didn't get mad, but anyway, he was funny. He was cool with it. Let's Katina and Olajuwon in this situation here. He did show some love. He showed some compassion. He even showed some patience in this episode with her, with the alpaca. Even though he called
the gazebo.
He called it all kind of names, bro.
That's what the other name was.
A gazebo.
A gazebo. We were like, he said a llama.
Llama. What? What is
Right.
a llama?
What's a llama? I think my vision of nerds, lambda.
But gazebo, I was like, bruh, are you trying to say gazelle? Like gazebo? What are you trying to say?
Boy, y'all thoughts on Olajuwon and Katina this episode?
I hear everything you said about him, all the positive things, but Olajuwon has rubbed me the wrong way this whole season, and I can't get away from it. Like, I realized his conversations mean well. Like, he means well in his conversations. It's his delivery which is messed up, and I can't get past that. I think he had some sense when he said when we found out she was still in school, she had 2 years left, and then 2 years she wanted to have a baby. She wanted to start a family and stuff. It's just how he said it bothered me.
Right.
It's more so of a I did this, I waited, I did this, you can't do this. Like, don't dictate what you can do. Just say, hey, because I mean, like, y'all are talking in what hypotheticals anyway. You know what I'm saying? She could get finished faster. Or it could take her a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? And so because of that, like, yeah, I want to have kids in 2 years, but start talking about things you want to do next month or the month after that, or how we're going to start moving in together. And don't try to say, well, you can't do that. Because when you say somebody can't do something, most of the time they go back and try to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And this time I was proud of Katina for stepping up and talking for herself for once.
Yeah.
In this whole process, because she was like, what she say, moms can work and have babies because people do it all the time.
And she's like, I watched my mom do it.
Right.
I thought that it was really, I don't even know the word to use, but it was very unfair for him to say to her, I don't want to pay for that. As if her having kids should just inconvenience her, or them having kids. I can't say her having kids. The two of them having children together should only inconvenience her, because he's really stepped out and said, I sacrificed for the last 5 years so that I can go travel. So you gonna go travel by yourself? You never gonna take your family with you? Your wife is never gonna go because she's still in school. She can't change anything in this house already because, I mean, it needs some changes. But it's all these things that, and I think also because we're a little bit older than Olajuwon and Katina, not by much, but a little bit. And I look at my friends who go back to school now. Some of them go back just for the accomplishment to say that I finished, not because they're trying to get a different job or a quote unquote better job. Like, we don't really know what her game plan is for school. It could be just, I started, I'm going to finish. She could be like, this is the easiest way for me to get a promotion at work. Doesn't mean that she's starting at ground zero with her career again. So it's kind of difficult to say you can't have a career and have kids because jobs get maternity leave.
Right.
So what exactly is it that you're saying? But then he also has contradicted himself, because earlier in the season, he's like, I'm traditional. I need to take care of everything in the house. That's my job as a man. But you don't want to take care of this baby that you're making? It's like, are you listening to yourself? And I think somebody that he trusts, because it definitely wasn't Dr. Pepper, somebody that he trusts has to come back to him and put it in his hand and say, this is where you sounded stupid.
Right.
Because he finally understood about talking about Katina not being able to cook when his mom said something. But that was probably after the season wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
When his mom said something, because they don't film the after party until after everything's all said and done.
Right.
So I don't really know what motions or mental processes and leaps and bounds he's going through, but he needs somebody to come put it in his hand and explain to him that was done. Tell me what you were trying to say so maybe I can help you out, because a lot of the stuff that you're saying you're not just getting to just come out of your mouth. It's not working.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, what, Tom?
I was gonna say I also believe that because of the way his life was set up before when he was Isaac, he gets away. Perfect situation, they got the perfect two together. You know what I'm saying? Katina is gonna allow him to talk any type of way he wants to. She's just not gonna take him calling her a B or a hoe or anything like that. But as far as like verbally abusing her, she's gonna allow it because that's what's been allowed before. You know? So if it's a level 10 abuse that she's been used to, but he's giving her level 8 abuse, it's acceptable. You know, for us, it's like it's cringy to look at. But for her, it's like, oh, this is a better situation for me. I'm gonna accept it. So that's the one side of it. But then for him, the other side of it, this is what he's used to. You know, he can't help himself but to talk this way because this is what's been allowed. And until the behavior is nipped in the bud or said something about, he doesn't have to change it. And that's the sad part about it, man. It's like we talk about the same thing every week when it comes to him and how he delivers his message. Even though sometimes his messages are spot on. You know, like this one. It's hard to have I think that's a better way to have that conversation with her.
Right.
It's hard to have a baby and start a new career. You can do it. What's your plan? How do you expect to do it? Because they were talking about planning for the future, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes off wrong when you do say, well, you can't do that. Or how is that, how is that going to be possible with you starting a new career and not really asking those questions of what the plan is? You want to go travel, but you're looking at it as you spent all this time saving your money and paying off stuff and doing this and doing that, and then gonna tell her she played, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I was like,
She got
how you know it just wasn't hard for her? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause college was hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated a year after her and we started together. You know? And then I went back to school. So it was hard the first time. So it's like, okay, you don't know these things. And then to say that she played while he was saving money, like first off, the situations was different. He was an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
What's the odds that you had student loans, the same student loans that she had?
Right.
You know, you could have been on scholarship all 4 years.
You only took out loans to eat. Because we know people that did that too.
Your student loans is much cheaper than hers in the 4-year span period where you getting the bulk of it paid for.
That's what I was gonna say too. If you had student loans, you didn't have much. You had like a little, because you was on scholarship to play ball. You had you had books. You probably paid the books, student loans for your book, but it wasn't much. So you can still say I paid off my student loans.
And the other thing I was gonna say too is, okay, how you like Tommy? How do you say? Basically, he said, "Oh, you played around." No, maybe she's the type of person that was just like, "I got this student loan. I pay it when I pay it. That ain't my priority." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm gonna still do what I do and how I do it, because she was the party girl. It ain't stop her, because she was just like, I'm gonna die with this debt. Maybe that just wasn't her priority. You know what I'm saying? But I was just like you. Just say it might be hard for you to start your career and have kids and finish school. It might be difficult because maybe you never see, maybe Olajuwon never seen anybody do it. But like Artika said, Katina told her, my mom was a single parent and she made it. She did this. So I'm telling you from my perspective, what I saw, maybe you didn't see that. And just the way he responded to her, again, it goes back to the same thing Dr. Pepper pointed out. You're belittling her, you're demeaning her. And what you're basically saying is, I don't see that you're capable to keep up the house and to cook and stuff like that. So surely you ain't going to go to school and take care of our marriage and the house and the baby, because you can't even cook the eggs without them sticking to the pan. Basically, that's what was underneath all of that. You know what I mean? That's what was underneath all of that. I'm like, bruh, you don't know what that girl can do. And then guess if she feed the baby, not the baby so much, but if she feed the toddler while she's in school every day, at least I got the chicken nuggets and the French fries fixed so I can do my schoolwork. They eating. You know what I'm saying? It might not be the way you want, because side note, that joker got all googly-eyed in the kitchen when Steve was like, I cook like this 5 days a week. I said, Lord, he looked like he want to marry Steve.
That scene right there told us that he could not cook for sure.
Hello.
Yes.
Because Steve boiled noodles.
Right. Steve boiled noodles. And Olajuwon didn't do anything. If you watch that scene, Olajuwon was sitting in his seat and just chilled.
He was like, I ain't tell you when to add some more salt. Nah.
Yeah.
Get out my kitchen.
But you know what also was a problem with Olajuwon is this. He always talked about him. You're married to this girl. It's we, right?
Right.
Am I right? If you look at this conversation, it was always we. It was never them or us. Because I think I brought out to Jack, it might have been our review, we were just talking. He works nights. Katina works days, can swap off the kids, and she go finish school. Who got to sleep? We used to swap off kids, right? We swapped off kids. I worked nights, she worked days. It was like, okay, tag, here, your turn, right, and we moved and still manage. So again, if you work with her and not against her, you see what I'm saying? Then there could be a situation where y'all can do it together. Don't put all the pressure on her. It's not all her pressure. It's not her responsibility. Like Artika, you said it. She didn't get pregnant by herself. Bruh, you had something to do with this. You got her pregnant. So guess what? Help. Matter of fact, let's have this discussion. In 2 years, y'all may not be at a point where you can have babies.
Right.
But financially or whatever case may be, just because you debt free. And who says, I hate when people say this, who say having a child is a death sentence? I've known girls, and I have a classmate on here watching. We've known girls who was pregnant and finished school pregnant and are doing very well. We know, me and Jack know people in college who had kindergartners and still doing well. So just because you're pregnant, finished college, and have a career, don't mean you're not going to be successful. Where his mindset is still stuck in the 1950s. People have done multiple things. If you know how to manage, and who's her support system. If you have a great support system, your mom, your cousins, his family, you can do a lot of things and get things done and be on top. And then you talking about her student loans, which lets me know now, financially, you ain't gonna try to help her out, because if y'all married, if her student loans are a big issue, bruh, why are you helping her out to get rid of the student loans? Or since you say, you know what, Katina, we're in a good place right now. Your first 2 years you spent on student loans. We're married. How about we cash flow your last 2 years so we don't accumulate any more student loans? If you're a big baller, right? If you're a big baller, you have no debt, right? He keeps saying, I don't have no debt. I don't have no debt. So that means you can go ahead and cash flow and help her, because this is your wife. Continue on.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's the thing I don't think they realize, is that when you get married, you become a helpmate, your partner. Yeah. So where your partner lacks, that's where you pick up the slack. Like if she doesn't understand finances, right? Why would you not help her? Because the better she is, or the worst person on the team, right? That's where you basically measure your team. So if she's at an 80 in finances, work with her. Tell her, okay, this is what we can do. Let's budget this. Let's do this because this is how I got mine. Instead of coming off as a person that's bragging, as a person that's like, oh yeah, I paid mine off. You need to figure yours out. No, let's work together, figure this out, and move forward with what we're trying to do, because now you're bringing these two ships together to move in one direction. So
Yeah, don't talk down to her, but help her out. I totally agree with you, and I think he has a problem with helping people. For somebody who wants to be a leader and always want to be in charge, he really doesn't help. He talks down to and try to motivate them to do. That's not really help. Some people don't operate that way. Everybody's not a foot. Oh, you need to do this, 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 and this. Some people you need to show, because you keep saying she don't have life skills, but you have never taught her and showed how to manage the life skills for your family and for your home. So what's the teaching process at?
I mean, you just gotta sometimes come together with that teaching process. I am not good at budgeting. Tommy has taken on that responsibility in our relationship, where he sits down at a computer and he makes a budget, and I'm like, I have to fill in things for him. But it's just like, it's never been a, how don't you know how to do this? It's always a, okay, let's figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And Olajuwon needs more let's figure this out in his life or in his vocabulary, because he lacks a lot of that.
Yeah, and let's figure it out would have been, okay, so you got 2 years of school left, you want to start your career, you want to have kids. What can I do to help you in that process? What kind of load can I take off? You know what I mean? That's what you should be doing. Okay, so, and they would do this further on. They wouldn't be talking about it now, but yeah, that's how he should have communicated. Okay, if that's what you want to do, then we'll have to come up with a plan for what we're going to do with the kids and how we're going to do this and how we, like you said, cash flow them last 2 years. Something, but it's a marriage, it's a cooperation, it's cooperative. It is a help meet. We try to help meet each other's needs. This is how, again, if your mindset is in the 1950s, the man was the head of the household, he was the leader. Okay, so let me lead. Let me encourage you and help you to know that you can do it, and I'm going to help you get through it. And I'm not going to just be focused on, did you fix my meal today?
If Katina comes to Elijah and says, you know what, you want me to do all this? I quit my job. He'll blow a gasket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Think about it. If she wants him to live it, if he wants this 1950 mentality for her to do all that, she should come in and say, you know what, Elijah, don't worry about school. I quit school. I quit my job. You'll have 3 home cooked meals. The house be taken care of. I can be with the baby. Don't worry about it. He will lose his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking out, and while I'm here at this house, I'm taking down them nasty curtains. I'm gonna paint the wall. I'm gonna get somebody to come in to fix this little small space. I'm gonna
move all your grandma stuff out the house that you just paid off because you making it. I can't nobody. Just a side note, you got the house Olajuwon. I'm telling you, that was a family house, and you just paid off what was left on the mortgage.
These dirty tiles, I can't clean these anymore. I'm getting a new flooring. I'm getting a new kitchen. I'm getting everything. But you go work and make the money, and I'm gonna spend that bad boy. Being at home.
Jackie, I think that's right. I think that was grandma's reverse mortgage house, and it was $50,000 that was taken out on it, and he was like, "All right, I'll get a $50,000 mortgage." He paying a few $100s a month on it, and he good, but he got a house.
Right? Yeah. He look. Katina and Olajuwon, they were better. Tommy, you hit the nail on the head. He means well. He just doesn't know how to speak or articulate what he's saying, because he has the concepts are good, but the way his delivery, so it's like the person that give you, it's like having a waiter, right? The food look good, and you sitting at the table and they just throw it at you. Here, take this.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
That food just looked totally it looked totally different now after they just throw it at you, and that's what he's doing. He's just throwing stuff at Katina and like, here, whatever I give you, you gonna take. Whatever I give you, you gonna take. Whatever I'm gonna give you, you gonna take. And sometimes she take it, and sometimes at least she was more. He hit a nerve with this one because she's like, my mama did it, and I can do it too. And that was why she spoke up, because this one really was a nerve.
Yeah.
Really was a nerve for her. And so she moved on. Let's get to this couple.
Speaking of throwing stuff at people.
Stuff at these people. The last couple of the day. This train wreck, Karen, manipulative, crying woman.
Oh my gosh.
Alcoholic, drunk. She ain't go to the hospital because she dehydrated. She was just drunk. She was dehydrated from all the drinking she was doing. But nonetheless, let's talk about Lindsey and Mark. This couple here. I'll start with you guys.
How do you get upset with me for calling you something that you are? You are hyper. Calm down. And she really, like, she was really mad, as Tommy would say. She was big mad all day.
I mean, she ruined the trip.
She did.
Absolutely.
Ruined the trip, man.
She ruined it.
Where you go?
You go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll jump back in. Go ahead.
Okay. Mark, I just felt I felt extremely bad for Mark because he truly was having a good time, trying to have a good time. But Lindsey jumps in and like me and RT have talked about this before, like her attitude can bring down the temperature of everybody in the house. Lindsey is the same way. Like her attitude can affect Mark's attitude in a way that he's like, I don't want to be here.
I think everybody has that capability, though.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't, but
You do.
I don't see it. I guess I don't get mad as you do. But like with Mark, it's like he's such a good guy. You know, you can tell because her getting sick, I'd have just sent her to the hospital. Or to the, you know, lay down, man. You'll be all right. Let me get you some water. You dehydrated. You know what I'm saying? But for him, they had a big argument and it wasn't resolved. And it's like, bro, like you just went off on me for no apparent reason. Like the one thing that bothered me the most was when I think they was at game night and she told them she lies about the sex. I was like, why would you say that right there? Like, what point are you trying to make? And like, why would he say yes on decision day at this point?
All he had to say in that moment was, if you gotta lie about it, why you want it so bad?
Right.
Because we always talking about you not getting it. If it's bad, I'm not asking for anything bad.
I'm just doing it out of repetition now. I'm just working out at this point, you know. But he just, I mean, like how do you can't talk about a man's manhood, especially in front of a group of friends, where now it's like nobody's gonna be like you have to explain yourself or anything like that. But now it's he's not pleasing his wife, you know, or he's not doing this or whatever her, you know.
I feel like those guys are looking at him like I wouldn't either, bro.
right. They probably was like, yeah.
Michael was hurtful, man.
Michael was like, bro, I'm glad you got caught up with her, not me.
Yeah, Michael's face was like, Michael was hurtful. Michael was like, him and Jasmina both were like, did she just?
Right.
They clutched him bad. Well, I felt bad for him.
That was me. I was like, I can't believe she said this. It's one thing to say it in the confessional by yourself,
right?
In a group setting like that. Come on, man, where you have to immediately be there, you know, be in it. And I was like, how she don't see something's wrong here?
And he was supposed to be okay with that, but he can't say she's hyper.
Right.
Like, you are.
That is the same thing I said. I was like, the nerve of you to get mad at him for calling you hyper. And then you said, out in this place, because I tell him it's bad, or I don't say it's bad. Oh my God! I was like, he should have mushed her in her face. He should have mushed her in her face. He really should have. I was disgusted. I was like,
he was like Chris Rock. He was shocked.
And like you said, how could she not have known? It should not have taken Olajuwon to tell her, bro. When you said that stuff, that hurt my man's feelings. Not only hurt, I'm sure he was hurt. He was embarrassed. He was mad, sad, you know, angry, all of that. And he said his energy changed. And her response is, well, how do I honor him and still honor myself? And this is the thing I said with them. The same thing with a lot of these couples. Guess what? In that space, it's not a tit for tat. It's just not. It's not a tit for tat. You gonna have to lift you might have to lift your husband up. You might really feel that way. But in this space, I'm not going to embarrass him. I'm not going to run him down. She could have even said, it's not just the way she said it, she could have said, it's not. I don't even know if I would have said it's not always pleasing to me. She didn't have to say that, but she just didn't. She said because I don't know. I was just like,
could have just been quiet. That's it.
And you know what? And the thing is,
you go ahead.
yeah.
Oh, the thing is, it's might not even that is not sad. Because from what he said, going back over past conversations and past shows and after parties, is that she has a high sex drive. So it may not even be bad. It may brother like, you know what, I just can't go no more. You at a whole, you at a whole different level. I ain't at that level yet. You got a whole different level because he talks about her using sex toys and all kind of stuff. Ain't no dude competing with no sex toy. That got Energizer batteries, man. I'm sorry.
It keeps going
and going. Bro, you can't even compare him to a sex toy. I'm being honest, right? So you can't compare him to that. So when you say it's not good, that you telling him that plastic thing with the batteries satisfied. But you again, Artika, you said it. But you're always asking for it. We saw the last scene, like the last episode. Oh, you spend more time with the cats with me. Well, if it's so bad, why you want it?
I have a rule with friends. I don't talk to you about your sex life. I don't talk to you about my sex life.
Mm-hmm.
General rule. Only reason I know people are having sex is because kids keep randomly coming.
Hello.
That is literally. And I mean, a lot of people don't have that rule, but that's just one of mine. And it hasn't failed me yet in 30 plus years.
Right.
It's just, I don't talk about it. I don't want to hear about yours. I'm not telling you about mine. And we are all done.
Yeah, I think that's the key there. And really at a table full of people, you intentionally try to make him look bad because that was you intentionally wanted to make him look bad at the table in front of everybody. And you're mad, then you get mad when everybody say you're the one started a fight. You just try to start a fight with your husband. He just didn't respond to it. You tried to
start a fight with her husband, and then she tried to start a fight with Steve. And Steve was like, what you're not going to do is this.
Right. Steve said, what you're not going to do, because Steve came back like, so you started a fight on the plane with you and Olajuwon, right? Steve, I like Steve's approach, man. He don't get mad, but he's slick. He's assassin with it, man. He's like, oh, so you started this fight with it, right? Because she tried to start that fight like, oh, how can you be a stay-at-home mom but her husband ain't got no job? You don't know what this man has. You don't know what kind of...
Yeah, she said with no income.
With no income. Matter of fact, Noi don't even know what he has. So how do you know what he has?
You don't.
You just assume.
He making more money than all of y'all sitting in this room right here chilling, and you go to work every day. You know? And that's the thing, too. I think, truth be told, I think she really likes Olajuwon. I'm not trying to be funny. You ever look at, they always hang out on the top of the rooftop together. He was the one who calmed her down. I wish they would have showed that part.
She liked him in the master's wife kind of way with the slaves.
I wish they would have showed that part because she was going off upstairs. For him to have to hold her back from coming down the steps, she was going off upstairs. I ain't saying she was Hurricane K upstairs, but she was going off upstairs to the point where Olajuwon had like, nah, don't go down here with my man. Don't go down here with my man. Just stay here because they knew which way it was. And again, and we talked about Virginia. Remember a couple seasons ago, we talked about Virginia and her drinking? Lindsey drinking is bad because we only see this when she really drinks, that she gets to this point. When it was at the bowling alley, she got to this point. When it was at the together here, she gets to that point. Even though it's champagne or whatever else she's drinking, Lindsey and drinking don't go well. When she was on a plane, they said she was drunk. And that's why she went after Olajuwon. So when you take somebody who's already unstable, add alcohol to it, and their mouth is already loose, y'all know people who are quiet get loose when they drinking. So when you get somebody who's already loose before they start drinking and give some alcohol to them, she got fair game, man. And she's totally out of control. And Mark, my hat's off to you again, Tommy. You said it because I'd have looked at her when she was sick, like.
And I was about to come back to that, Tommy, because I said the same thing. I said, he would have been well within his rights to be like, you know what, figure it out yourself. Get to the urgent care yourself. It's whatever. You know what I mean? But he did. They hadn't even solved the disagreement. They hadn't he had to get up and he's calling the urgent care. Do you have IV fluids? Maybe she needs this. Pulling over so she can throw up outside the car. He literally took care of her. And he could have been like the whole drive. You treated me like a bum last night, but you see what I'm doing for you now? Just like she kept bringing up the bed bugs. I helped you get the bed. He could have been driving the whole time.
Yeah. Put her line on her and said, "Go stay with your mama."
Hello. Call your mama to take you to urgent care. Go call your mama. But he really did take care of her. But I'm gonna tell you the other thing I thought about. I said, now look, see, we was joking about this with our son. Look how fast God worked. See, you acted a tail, and then he had to turn around and take care of you. The same one that you just talked about like a dog. He had to come. See, ain't that something? I don't think it's no coincidence that she got sick. You got sick because you was wrong. You was dead wrong.
I mean, like,
God don't like ugly.
Don't.
My question for her would be, how do you think, like, you have all these gripes about him, like he's not this, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, but how do you think he feels with your behavior? Because it's like I was telling her, I always check myself first. Did I do everything? Am I doing right? Am I, A100 on what I'm trying to do? And then I go check the other person that's in my circle. Like, it will be my wife, it will be my kids. But outside of that, if I take care of myself and I treat the people the way that I want to be treated, there's an expectation now set, because now I treat people the way I want to be treated. So I expect that same treatment. So what if he does treat you? Like, these are questions I want to ask. Like, what if he does treat you the way that you treated him, drunk or sober? You know what I'm saying? Like, it regardless of if you're drunk or sober, if you treat him bad, what if he treats you bad? Like, how is this making him want to be with you? The sex may be bad because you treat him like this.
Nobody wants to have sex with a person that is being that, like, aggressive and crazy with them, because literally everything that happens is his fault, no matter what it is. And she can clearly be the reason that this has happened. And she's still like, you know why? Because your life is messed up.
Oh,
it's just like
falling apart.
Yeah, it's like you said, Tommy. It'd get to the point where he be like, Celie and Mister, I just let her get on top of me and do her business. I'm just here for the paycheck. I'm just here so I don't get fined. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want that. You know what I'm saying? I was just, and then, like I said, the thing that really stuck out to me when she said she was talking to Olajuwon, when she was like, how do I honor him and still honor my feelings? I was just like, honey, again, it's not tit for tat. Sometimes in a case, you're going to have to honor your spouse ahead of your feelings. And then address your feelings, but you do it in a way, she acts like he is just really, like, to me, the hyper comment, it wasn't to the level that she said it. Like, come on, calm down. You are hyper. You do be wilding. So how do you get upset? And then for him to say, oh, I was just joking. She is the prime example of she can dish it out, but she can't take it. Because when he give her a little bit, she be like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. And you done dragged this man through the mud more than once, twice, 3 times a lady. You know what I'm saying? You have drugged him. And he says the littlest thing about you. You're so negative. I said, not negative, Nancy. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black?
Right.
All she can do is talk. You don't do this for me. You don't do that for me. But what are you doing? What have you done for him lately, Lindsey? What have you done for him lately?
She talked about him. They talked about him. Oh, you done had so much bad luck since we've been together on this show. She dig.
Oh my gosh, that was a worse dig than her calling him calling her hyper. Yeah. That was a worse dig to say. Basically, you call me bad luck, schlep rock. His whole life started falling apart after we got married. I wonder why. Could it have something to do with you? Just saying.
Because you already got a guy who doesn't like confrontation, and every time you put him in a situation to create confrontation. Think about it. He's always defending her. He always got to fight. He thinks he's having a great day. Like, yo, it's a great time. We doing good this week. And next thing you know, someone walking on eggshells, bro don't even know what to say. he say one thing, it goes to the left real quick. If he don't say nothing, it goes to the left real quick. If he breathes too hard, it goes to the left real quick. If he agree with this person, it goes to the left real quick. He's sitting there like, that's why he has that dumb look on his face, like, I don't even know what to do here. Why am I here?
That was hilarious too during the game. They was like, oh look, Mark's making a face.
And then you even she embarrassed that. She embarrassed with that because she points out the face to everybody else, just the face that he makes when he doesn't know what's going on. Like he's like, you can't embarrass your spouse in front of other people. I would never embarrass my spouse in front of other people. And that's one of the things you gotta compromise there. You don't do that.
The crazy part is that she don't see where she's embarrassing to him.
That's it.
You know, because at their first interaction when they was at the table, and she just laughed. Like everybody looking at her like, shut up.
She doggone near snorted. She was laughing so hard. Everybody was like,
and the comment wasn't that funny. Like, one of y'all not gonna leave this weekend? Like, what you try to do? You gonna kill one of us? Like,
right.
What's gonna happen?
And again, turnabout is fair play. Who didn't make it through the whole weekend? Lindsey.
Who almost died? Lindsey. She laying up there, oh, I'm dehydrated. Nah, you done drunk too much. You ain't put nothing on your stomach.
That's it.
You was drinking all weekend. And
you was wilding. You was being mean and evil, and you got what came to you.
Y'all, this spaghetti, I'm sorry. I know this is off topic, but are y'all a spaghetti person when you need your sauce mixed with your noodles? Because when I looked at when I looked at those noodles the other night, I'm like,
he was so mad. He was like, why is the sauce on top of the noodles?
Like,
mix it together.
Can we mix that together?
I'm gonna say we are a one pot household. You put that sauce on top of the noodles, mix it all together, throw a little cheese on top, and then when Tommy makes his bowl, he throws some more cheese on top.
Yeah.
My man. I'm at the guy to do the Olive Garden when we go, they get tired. I'm like, you gonna go get another block?
Is spaghetti the main dish or is it a side dish?
It depends on if you put meat in it. If you put meat in it, it's the main dish.
All right.
If there's no meat, I think it can be a side dish. But once you throw meat in it, that's the main dish.
Is it spaghetti with no meat? It's still spaghetti?
Yeah. The noodles are called spaghetti.
Oh.
So he's asking that because of me. Growing up in Memphis, spaghetti was a side.
Uh-huh.
You could fry some chicken, you could fry some fish, but it was something on the side and it had meat in it too. And the only way you ate spaghetti by itself was the next day as a leftover.
Oh,
got you. See, we always had
main meal.
Yeah, we have fully had spaghetti as a main meal, and then had like salad on the side and some garlic bread.
But I had it both ways, depending on which grandmother I was living with. Because my other grandmother, when she made spaghetti, she fried chicken. Like they went hand to hand. And my other grandmother.
That's just it for us. Like we had fried fish with spaghetti growing up. Like it wasn't until I became a teenager that my mom started putting like chicken or something else with it. But it was fish and spaghetti together. And I remember in college, we would always have these debates about fish and spaghetti because people from where I'm from are like, we eat fish and spaghetti together. He's like, nope, it is spaghetti, man. That's it.
Yeah.
We have like garlic bread, the cheese, what's it, Texas toast with the cheese on top of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the meal. And then you can have a little bit left over for the next day.
Or you do some vegetables. I know my mother-in-law was just here. We came back, there was spaghetti in the refrigerator. And the kids like, well, we had spaghetti, we had green beans, we had garlic bread. So she made sure
she fixed everything.
She made sure they had their vegetables to it. So I've seen it both ways. But
I had never heard, just a side note, I had never had fish and spaghetti. I don't think I still have it. That was something I never heard of growing up. But I was like, oh, okay, that's what they do, fish and spaghetti. Okay.
It's good. Go together.
That's funny.
And I want to take a moment to address. I see Barbara has said something about.
Oh, I'm about to do it too.
I'm going to address this. I have a 2-year-old child who is upstairs and she is making noises. I will check my phone whenever I feel like it to check on my child to see what she is doing. So you can excuse yourself out of what I'm doing over here. Thank you.
Oh, I thought she was gonna say what I was about to say.
Oh, you gonna say your too?
Oh, I'm gonna say before we go to closing thoughts, I must put this disclaimer. And Angela made a comment. I'm sorry that you don't like our team up, but I do. And so forever and always, we will team up. This is family, and so we'll miss you, but God bless.
It's our channel. It is. And I look at my phone, and my 8-year-old come here, she wants to go outside. Guess what? My kids got to ask, can they go outside while I'm doing something? So I'm going to look over it. So we're sorry about that. It's not power editing. We're live. We're live. And real life happens while we live. So.
I guess since everybody else said something, I was just watching the Celtics game. Like somebody said in the comments that the Celtics and the Nets was on, and I forgot about it. Appreciate it, whoever said that, but I got the game going too. So
yeah, we multitask over here.
Look, right. Guess what? It's Resurrection Sunday, and we're presenting this to you, but life don't stop.
But I will say I appreciate you guys watching. August Love Story, the channel, Jack and Glenn. I appreciate all of that because a view is a view.
Yeah.
You know?
It is a view is a view is a view.
And y'all value to your opinion, man. We love each and every one of you, but at the same time, life happens. You know, it is. Chloe, say subscribe to her and to Lisa, and we move on. We're different people, different background. We don't always agree. We definitely don't always agree. As Tommy said earlier, we do have a lot of chats outside of this platform before we go on live or even after live. So we are like family. So it's fun. We like your opinion. We love you guys in the chats and all that. So appreciate each and every one of you and continue to support.
This ends the PSA. All right, so close it off.
Yo,
y'all got it. Just this one time. We back. We back.
That's it.
I know, vacation, right? It takes you back. Closing thoughts on the couples. We got 2 weeks left. Where do y'all see the couples at now with 2 weeks?
Man, go ahead.
We disagree, but I don't think any of these couples need to stay together, to be very honest. I do think that Jasmina and Michael have the ingredients to make things work, but Jasmina just has to stop being so cold. I want Mark to run from Lindsey, like Forrest Gump, run. Get out of here. Like when we come back and they do the where are they now, I want you to be away from Lindsey. Katina and Olajuwon, I do think that Olajuwon is definitely going to need another person, a third party, to come into their relationship and help him facilitate his feelings, but also have him realize where he got Katina messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's going to be the biggest issue. As it stands now, I don't think they need to be together, but I think that he needs to let go of some of those things that are holding him back, which is mostly this traditional marriage attitude. And I'm not saying that you can't be in a traditional marriage, but you can't say, hey, I need you to be at home cooking and cleaning and barefoot and pregnant, but you also got to pay all these bills for this baby because I'm not doing none of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking care of this baby. Like you got to have some type of compromise. And then who was the other couple?
Listen, Chris.
No, not that. Noi and Steve. Noi's just gonna have to work at being able to compromise, and she needs to start with social media.
Yeah,
that's a great starting place. It's a very easy starting place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like I wonder, is Noi some type of influencer on social media?
Nah, that was Alyssa.
It was?
Alyssa. Yeah, Alyssa was the social media manager.
And then what's her name? Katina was food blogging.
Food blogging, and Jasmina run parties on weekends, like food, social media, food party gatherings in Boston.
Like I could understand, like I don't understand Noi's posting about her relationship, but I just really want to know what the importance of social media is to her. Like, is it for, do you make money off of it? Because a lot of people do. You like, what is it that's so important? Because she acts like it's her diary. Like nobody can read it. Oh, I gotta keep it close to the heart. You can't take this away from me, type of deal. And it's
make you a burner account.
something, If you just gotta get it off your chest, just I agree totally with my wife. Outside of the fact of, I agree with you on Jasmine and Mike. I hope they say yes.
That's where we disagree. Is that I don't think they're going to, and you think they will.
I think they will. It's just hard to really have the idea that Jasmina's gonna say yes. Like I think Michael's gonna say yes, period, because he's like, she's beautiful and I ain't gonna find nothing else better than this type of deal. But I think Jasmina just needs to kind of like clearly give him a direction to go in. So outside of that, yeah, totally agree with you.
Yeah, I think we agree on a couple. I think Jasmine and Michael, she needs to pour her heart out. He pour his heart out. I totally get. And I say it every week. I think when this couple has to say yes or no, they need to go to separate rooms because they're gonna feed off each other. He's gonna say
Eric and Virginia.
Yeah, Eric and Virginia with Jasmine and Michael. I think Katina and Olajuwon both say yes because I don't think she might be scared to say no. She don't want to say no. She feel comfortable with him. I think Lindsey and Mark, as much as I want them to say no because I think they can be detrimental to each other, I think they both say yes because they realize nobody else can put up with my mess except for this person here. Now, I wouldn't be surprised that if they say yes on decision day, because Mark said a little bit in this episode, I wouldn't mind working with her after decision day, something to that extent. So I think those two, and then Noi and Steve, I think she says yes because she loves him. And then after she really do care about Steve, and reading between the lines of what she said, she doesn't want to be deserted. So if Steve leaves, what else? Who's going to cook and clean for her? Who's going to take care of her? She missed out on the meals 5 days a week. So no, I think Steve and Noi stays together. And the last couple, Jasmine and Michael, I hit all of them. But yeah, I think that's where they are. Good thoughts? You have nothing? You good? You sure?
I think I've done my share of talking because somebody in the chat said I ain't never heard Jack talk this much.
You talking? I
think I met my quota.
I fed her before, and we didn't rush home to do this. But we enjoy each other.
I didn't get no fried chicken there. You ain't feed me that.
Yo, dog, I'm sorry. Look, I know KFC is not a sponsor, but I'm not paying $23 for 20 wings at KFC. I'll go to the store.
$3.
Oh.
The wing would be like this, but that's a side note.
I go to the store and buy them bad boys and fry them up before I pay $23 for them. I don't care how quick they'll be, but that's just KFC down here where we live at, gouging prices. But either way,
KFC in a long time.
Oh man, thank y'all for joining us. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification. Make sure you follow August Love Story. Make sure you follow Chloe Johnson. Make sure you follow Talisa Ray. Also go to TalisaRay.com and get her journal, her new journal out that she has. Make sure you support everyone. Of course, this is Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday, so everybody couldn't make it today, but join us next week. Join us next week as we talk Married at First Sight again. Episode 15, we'll see what kind of shenanigans these couples get into and what we can talk about by each couple.
Before we sign off, I got one shout out. I see the Bae. The Bae is in the comments. And for Bae, that means best auntie ever. So my sister's in the comments. I want to give her a shout out to the Bae.
Hey, do me a favor. We're going to FaceTime you, let you see what your niece has on to go to this concert with this boy. We're going to have a problem. I need you to talk to her before I get home. But thank y'all for joining us. Good night, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.